Welcome to this explainer. Look, we're going to jump right in today and break down why the next massive leap in artificial intelligence isn't just about building smarter, bigger models. No, it's actually about brilliant orchestration. Today, we are looking at Abacus AI's Agent Swarms. I've been completely fascinated by this system because it fundamentally changes how we think about automated work, complex problem solving, and honestly, the entire future of enterprise development. So let's start by asking the core question that really separates traditional AI from the massive breakthrough we're exploring today. What actually happens when an AI stops just, generating text in a vacuum and starts planning out entire multi-layered projects from scratch? Because that right there, that is exactly the leap a swarm represents. And this brilliantly illustrates that paradigm shift. We're moving away from that old brute force linear approach, where one giant model just grinds through a complex task in a single pass, kind of just crossing its fingers and hoping for the best outcome. Instead, we have agent swarms. Rather than a lone grinder, this system operates exactly like a real-world development team. It analyzes the main goal, figures out what pieces rely on other pieces, and then deploys specialized workers to tackle very specific components. It's a total game changer. All right, here's our roadmap for today. 1. Beyond linear AI. 2. Hierarchical architecture. 3. Supermarket versus CRM sequencing. 4. HR platform multitasking. And finally, 5. Intelligence through coordination. Section 1. Beyond linear AI. Escaping the single model grind. Now, what's truly staggering about this system is its sheer disruptive potential for traditional knowledge workers. We're not just talking about having AI write a quick Python script or draft a marketing email for us anymore. The source material points out that what a swarm produces in a single session is, quote, the kind of output that should be making SaaS founders, enterprise software teams, and honestly management consultants pretty uncomfortable. I mean, just think about how wild it is to have an AI output a full, production-ready ecosystem all in one go. Moving on to Section 2, Hierarchical Architecture, how the swarm thinks and organizes. To really understand how it pulls this off, we have to look at the engine running the show. Think of the master agent as an elite technical project manager, rather than just a simple code generator. When you give it a prompt, it doesn't just immediately start furiously writing code. Instead, it acts as a high-level controller. It pauses, it understands the massive scope of what you're asking for, and it takes total charge of organizing the entire operation before a single worker is ever deployed. It is all about high-level strategy first. So the real secret sauce here is step 3, mapping dependencies. The system possesses this incredible structural logic to figure out the exact order of operations. It maps out precisely what needs to exist before the next thing can even begin. This guarantees that when those specialized worker agents are finally deployed in step 4, the work happens in perfect sequence, or in parallel, exactly as needed. This entirely avoids those frustrating bottlenecks that usually crash complex software builds. Section 3. Supermarket versus CRM sequencing, the technical advantages of automated planning. Before a single line of visible code is even written, the system proves its underlying intelligence by structuring the necessary foundational layers first. The master agent absolutely knows you cannot build a functional mobile app without the back-end APIs existing first. It establishes those database schemas and authentication layers super early. So why does this matter to you? Well, because it proves the AI isn't just regurgitating code snippets. It's purposefully sequencing the build, so the structural foundation is rock solid from day one. Let's compare how the swarm adapts its orchestration based on the complexity of the project. For a supermarket build, it's smart enough to use logical linear sequencing, building the web app core first, then extending that backend to a mobile app as a natural extension. But a CRM? That requires a completely different approach. The swarm recognizes that a CRM involves deals, contacts, and integrations that all interlock heavily. So it adapts. It locks down those complex database schemas, pipelines, task tracking, and role-based access simultaneously so the entire product remains stable and doesn't just completely fall apart. Which brings us to Section 4, HR platform multitasking. Juggling concurrent work streams. Okay, let's examine an HR platform request to see how the swarm handles some heavy-duty multitasking. The master agent assigns 3 massive concurrent work streams to specialized worker agents, and they are operating at the exact same time. Think about the sheer complexity here. One worker is building the complex company-facing business portal. Another is developing an entirely separate employee-facing mobile app for clock-ins and leave requests. And a third, it's writing a Python process for automated weekly HTML data pulls. Juggling these simultaneously requires just immense computational focus. Now, you might be wondering, why doesn't this intense multitasking just collapse into total chaos? The answer is this single source of truth. If parallel agents don't share reality, you get conflicting code and broken features. But here, the company portal, the employee app, and the reporting system are all firmly anchored to one shared database reality. Because the master agent perfectly coordinates them, these agents draw from the same live data simultaneously without drifting apart. The final product feels exactly like one unified build. Juggling three completely distinct work streams, the business software, the employee workflow, and the back-end automation in one coordinated build, that is the ultimate revelation of parallel worker benefits. It proves that agent swarms can execute enterprise-level tasks at incredible speed by dividing the labor cleanly, managing those overlapping dependencies we talked about, and bringing it all back together perfectly aligned. This is exactly how massive scale is achieved without sacrificing an ounce of quality. Finally, Section 5. Intelligence through coordination, a practical path to advanced AI. This capability extends far beyond just grinding out application code. The system is coordinating serious knowledge work and high-level design logic. Just imagine a consulting scenario for a second. It can send out parallel research agents across different business functions simultaneously. It then uses a synthesis agent to pull those diverse findings together and a presentation agent to create a polished, boardroom-ready slide deck. It even maintains strict visual design consistency, like carrying a specific corporate color scheme across an entire ecosystem of documents. That is next-level coordination. So the crucial point to take away from this explainer today is that the road to advanced AI, maybe even the road to artificial general intelligence, is all about organizing complexity effectively. It might actually have much less to do with one magical all-knowing model, and everything to do with intelligence emerging through coordination, through planning, and through specialization. Systems that know how to divide work and bring it back together cleanly, those are the true future. How will AI that orchestrates complex workflows, rather than just generating text, change the structural reality of your own industry? I really want to leave you with that thought to consider, because this kind of structured, practical progress is scaling rapidly right now. When an AI can step into the role of a project manager, a developer, a designer, and a researcher literally all at once, the way we structure our human teams is absolutely bound to change. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I encourage you to keep thinking about how orchestration might reshape what you do.